We've taken a look at several different multi-tools here on the channel in the last 7 or so years. The last one was just a few weeks ago, and in the comment section of that video, I had a lot of people tell me that I need to check out the Swiss tool from the folks at Victorinox. So I reached out to the folks at Victorinox, and they were kind enough to send me a couple of different tools. This one is the Swiss Tool Spirit XBS. That's what we're going to take a look at coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. As I said, the folks at Victorinox, the Swiss Army knife folks, were kind enough to send me one of their Swiss tools. This one is the Spirit XBS, and this one actually won Tactical Product of the Year in 2017 at some show, maybe SHOT Show. I'm not sure, but it's on their website. But it's a really cool tool, and we're going to take a look at it. But first, and you're going to like this segue, you know I'm all about the sponsorship segues, right? So, speaking of stuff from Switzerland, I just received my latest package from the folks at Acre Gold, and this came from Switzerland. So, and if you're not familiar with Acre Gold, here it is. This is a 2.5 gram bar of actual genuine gold in my hot little hand. But Acre Gold is a subscription service that allows you to pay either $30 a month or $50 a month to build up enough money in your account to get yourself some real gold, and they'll send it to your hot little hand. So it's pretty cool. There'll be a link in the description below if you want to check that out. But thanks to the folks at Acre Gold for sponsoring this video. So now let's talk about this Swiss tool, since we're talking about stuff from Switzerland. So first of all, a little bit of history on this. A few weeks ago, I did I think it was a Gerber center drive, but I did a video on the Gerber center drive multi-tool, and a lot of people in the comments, or at least several people in the comments, extolled the virtues of the Swiss tool. So again, I reached out to my friends at Victorinox, and you've probably seen them on some SHOT Show videos, and they were kind enough to send me a couple. I've got this one, and I've got another one that is, I've never seen anything like it. I think you're gonna like it, but this time, that's just a little teaser. We're gonna take a look at the Swiss tool Spirit XBS. And this is kind of like the cream of the crop of their multi-tools, because I'll be right up front with you. The price on this thing is, got my Mr. Steve's handy dandy notebook down here. If you don't know what that is, you don't have kids in the 30s. This is the Spirit XBS, and it is pretty cool. I'm gonna bring it up here and give you some close-ups in just a minute, so don't worry about that. But this one features 25 locking tools and got some pretty cool stuff. So instead of me rambling on, let's just get right to the chase. I'm gonna bring you over to the old tabletop here, do some close-ups. We'll talk about the specs. I'll show you the different tools. We'll kind of go over them one by one. I'll try to make that kind of brief, and then we'll do some actual stuff with them to see how well they really work. So, okay, here's the Victorinox Spirit XBS, and you'll notice right off the bat this thing is really dark colored. That's because it is burnished stainless steel. So stainless steel with a burnished finish, which not only gives it this really cool looking dark color, but it also helps minimize and mitigate the effects of corrosion. So the dimensions on this thing are 4.1 inches long closed by 0.6 inches wide, and it weighs 7.3 ounces. And it comes with a really nice nylon sheath, belt sheath, with a Velcro closure here, and very compact, and a nice riveted belt loop on back of it. So very solid little deal there. Now, let's talk about the tools. It says it has 25 tools, but first of all, since it is a multi-tool, you got a pair of pliers. And see if I can give you a close-up here. If you can look down in the very bottom down here, there are some wire cutters. There is what they're calling a soft and thin wire cutter, and then there's a hard wire cutter on this particular model, and that's just at the very bottom where you get a lot of leverage. Also has just a knurled regular plier opening, needle nose on the end, and you can see how very precise that needle nose where it mates together is. And then this one actually has a little round thing here. I think that is a cable crimper, or just a crimper in general, fitting crimper. There's no nothing about that in the instructions, but I think that's what it is. It's got a little bit of a notch inside there. So that's the pliers. Again, they meet together really well, and it's also just very comfortable in your hand. It's kind of rounded off all through here. So there's that. Now let's take a look at the different tools on it, and we're just going to start on one side and go to the other. So first of all, open this way. There's an all reamer punch, very, very sharp there with a little multi-purpose hook on it. So that's a couple of different tools. Close that up, and you see it's got a lock right here. That's your lock. You pull both of those down. Maybe you can do it with one hand. We'll try that next. Next blade, that was actually the second blade. The first one is a saw, which is really cool. This is a wood saw, so Victorinox has a good reputation for making really, really functional wood saws. We're going to try that out and make sure, but I have no doubt it's great. So the next one, which is actually the third one because we missed the first one, is a little multi-purpose tool. Features a screwdriver, and they're also calling this a crate opener, so it's almost slanted as well, so you can kind of get under something and pry it. So that's two functions on that end, they're saying. A bottle opener and a little wire bender. You can put your wire in that little notch and loop it around like you're trying to make a wire go around a screw or something like that. Let's try it with one hand. Okay, so one finger, one side unlocks it. The next blade on the going around is a multi-purpose blade. So first, you have a wire stripper here. The next little notch here is actually a cable sleeve cutter, so you can cut the exterior of like a coax cable or something like that. Then there's a little chisel on this end, and then the very sharp corner right here on that very little corner right there is designed for splitting the outer sheathing off of like Romex cable or electrical cable. So there's that one. See what else we got here. Oh, then we got, of course, the blade, and this blade is 2 1/4 inches long because I measured it earlier, and we'll take a look at that in a minute also. Going to the other side of the tool, if I can find, okay, there's the first tool, at least the first one I came to. A nice pair of spring scissors, and Victorinox has got a really good reputation for making rock and roll scissors. Next, after the scissors, we have just a small screwdriver and very small flat screwdriver. The next we have a very nice Phillips head screwdriver, and it's got a really good probably about 1.5 inch shank on it, so pretty good there. And just a real screwdriver, not a little flat two-sided screwdriver. Let's see what's next. Next we have a can opener with another little screwdriver on the end of it. This is a very sharp can opener, should work really, really well. And then finally, and this is the tool that everybody was raving about in the other video. This is the file, and it has both like a fine file and a semi-coarse file. What's really cool about it is on the side of the file, there's like a little hacksaw blade, so there's a metal cutting blade. So we're going to check that out as well. So, did you count those? I didn't count them. They say it's 25. I really think it's about 26, but there's that. So now let's get to doing some of that multi-tool stuff. Okay, sorry for all the clutter, but I wanted you to be able to see. So I've got my Hidden Woodsman signal panel here, but the wind's blowing, so I've got it held down with my Minuteman rocket stove. So anyway, this is the here's the Spirit XBS, and I've got several different things I want to do with it. So first, go ahead and get this out of the way. I want to take a look at the blade, and we'll give it the old redneck sharp test. And this blade is brand new, it's oily, so let's just see how it does. And a lot of dry sunburned skin there, but it did not pass the redneck sharp test. No shaving sharp there. It did not shave any hair. So I'm surprised by that, to be honest with you. But let's try the paper test. Before we do that, let me just read you the warranty because I'm about to cut it up. This is the warranty. Victorinox AG guarantees all knives and tools to be a first-class stainless steel, and also guarantees a lifetime against any defects in material and workmanship, save for electronic components. There's none here. Damage caused by normal wear and tear, misuse, or abuse are not covered by this guarantee. So that's the guarantee. Now let's just see how well it does paper. Let's see. Okay, I gotta say, I am a little disappointed with the edge. It is not, I mean, look, it is sharp. We're gonna see how it carves on some wood in just a minute as well. But it's not what I have come to expect from the folks at Victorinox. It just seems a little less than excellent. So there's that. I just can do nothing but be honest with you. So one of the other things that I want to look at, let me close it back up again. Let's just see, let me find that little cutter there. What was I looking for? Maybe it is here, I think. Is this it? Yeah, okay, so this is the kind of electrical wiring kind of tool. And one of the things is that little corner right up there is designed to cut the sheathing off of wire. So let's just see how well it works there. And it did exactly what it's designed to do. Split it really well, so pretty cool there. What about the little stripper here? Let's just see if that'll work, how well that works. I think, let me try the other end. That's probably a little longer than you would need to strip it anyway. Let's just try this way before, since I've got that all jacked up, and just see if it goes around it like so. Okay, I'm probably not doing it right, but let's just give me something I can hold on to here. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Just got to kind of get it. Okay, so it worked. I don't know if it works any better than just old school, you know, turn around with a knife like that, but it worked. Okay, so, and then I don't have any coax to mess with a coax cutter there. So there's that. Let's see what else I can do before I get into the really fun stuff. So there's an awl, or you know, a reamer. Let's see how well it'll just make a hole in some wood. How about that? You need to bore a hole through something for, make a lanyard hole or whatever, you know, in your piece of fat wood or something like that. It's a pretty thick piece of wood to go through too, so we're gonna see how hard it'll take to get through there. I like the fact that it's locking, because that way it won't come back and slice your fingers off. And ream this hole out a little bigger here. Oh, it does a good job of that now. Look at that. Look at that. Nice, nice. Well, let's go ahead and that's really good. So this could be a pretty good tool for starting a bow drill divot. And I picked, of course, the absolute longest part, deepest part of this thing to try to bore through. We're going to get through it. We're going to keep going to get through it. Or we're going to bottom out one. See? Okay. So, you need to bore a hole in a stick or anything else, it would probably be a lot easier to make an extra hole in your belt than it was to do this. So there's that. Okay. Something else I want to try is, it has some soft or thin wire cutters. So we'll go ahead and try those. We'll try see whether this works here. I missed it. Okay. And we'll see about, maybe that's a little thinner there. Cuts just fine. Now, something that I think is probably a really good test of any multi-tool, because if there's anything that's going to have a tendency to spring the hinge and twist it, it's going to be really hard wire. This is a nail. It's not a piece of wire, it's a nail. So it's designed to be pretty strong. We're going to see if this thing will cut the nail. And it cut the nail just fine. Didn't try to twist in my hand at all. Just so you can, just to prove that to you, I'm going to let go of it and cut it. And there we go. And still rock solid. So did a good job on that. I'm going to just take it for granted that the Phillips head screwdriver works, and the regular screwdrivers, they're just flat. There's a standard can opener. They work really well. I know they work. I've used those for years. A pair of scissors. I'm going to try the scissors. Let's just see. Okay. Take a piece of paper here, and we'll just. So, yep. The scissors work just fine. Let's take a look at the saw. The regular wood saw. I'm gonna brace this up here, and let's just see how well this thing will saw some regular wood. And this is a pretty big piece of wood. And I'm trying to brace it on the table and not shake the camera. Okay, so nice smooth cut there. You're not going to build a house with this, but it does a really good job of cutting wood. It just eats through the wood. So there's that. Now let's take a look at the reason that everybody recommended this particular tool. Let's look at the file, and then we'll do a couple of our normal tests as well, because I can't resist, right? Let's look at this file. So I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of a sharp cut on that metal there. So we're just going to try that first and see if it files that down, how long it takes it to file that down. And it actually works really, really well. Okay, and that was the fine file too. Let's try the coarse file before we do anything else. I like that it has both. Let's find something you can actually. I don't know. There's really going to be any way you can see the results that I'm doing here, because you're just going to. You may have to just trust me, and you know, based on some comments I received lately, a lot of people may not find me that trustworthy, but we'll just give it. Okay, can you see that that is now right there slightly beveled? I'm just trying to show you it actually does work. The last time we had a problem getting the nail, I had a nail that I just couldn't get to flatten the point off. So we're gonna try this one and see if it you saw it had a point, right? Can you see that? It's got a point on it, right? Let's see if it'll file itself flat. Not file itself, if the file will file it flat. And voila. Can you see that? Can you see that it is now almost flat? So it's working, and you know, I got no reason to be faking this. They're not paying me anything. I don't, you know, whatever. So, but what I thought was really cool and really handy was the potential to have a saw here. So I'm not going to cut through this entire piece of unistrut, but we are going to see how well this thing will saw. Okay, look at that. You see that? It stinking works. Wow, I'm impressed by that. But now, what else can we do with it? Because it is a knife, and you know what I like to do with knives, right? We got to do some actual knife stuff with it now. So first, let's just see how well it will carve some feathers, and I'm going to use the top of this Minuteman rocket stove here to carve onto, because you know what the next step's going to be. So it would not pass the redneck sharp test, but we'll see if it'll carve some feathers at least. Because it's not a horrible edge, it's just not shaving sharp. I'm gonna get some little curls here. So, can you see that? Not too bad. You know where we're going, right? What about some fat wood? Actually, what if we took this, and it has a lock on it. We're going backwards, but let's just see if we can scrape some fat wood, how the back side of this thing scrapes. So that's the back side of it, not the saw side. Let's see how the saw side scrapes. I bet it scrapes better. Not bad. Speaking of saw, let's try that. The back side is going to mean we're depending upon that lock We're counting on that lock to keep this thing from closing on my hand, but I'm pretty sure it's got a good lock, and it scrapes really, really well. You know where we're going next, right? Got the old ferro rod here. We'll use the back of the saw, and this is what happens when you leave a ferro rod out in the rain for a few days. Let's just see. I know it's going to work. So. And bam, I love me some fat wood. There you go. Pretty good. The only time Chuck Norris was ever wrong was when he thought he made a mistake. Okay, well, there you go. That's my initial look at the Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit XBS. And let me just give you my final thoughts on this thing. We'll wrap this up. So I tried to do as thorough of a kind of a test on this thing as I could. Pros and cons, I'll be completely honest with you. We'll start with the cons, because there's only really one that I can think of, and I was a little disappointed in the edge on this thing. I've come to expect Swiss Army knife stuff to be absolutely razor sharp out of the box, because everything I bought several Swiss Army knives over the years, and they all have been. This one is just a little short of that. It's not dull. Don't misunderstand me. It gets the job done. You saw it, carves and feathers okay. I mean, it'll cut what needs to be cut, but it could stand just a little touching up, which is easily fixed. But I got to call them like I see them, right? But other than that, I think this may be one of the most capable multi-tools I have ever tried and ever tested. And there's a couple reasons for that. I really think it is super comfortable. It's very compact. You know, it's not a one-hand opening, and you know I like the Gerber one-hand opening. I like that, but this one is absolutely very, very comfortable to use. When you can squeeze it really hard, and it doesn't. There's not a lot of hot spots there. It's smoothed off enough so the handle's really comfortable. I like that. So yeah, we're on to the pros now. I also really like the saw. Victorinox has got a reputation for having great saws. I've got several Victorinox products that all have great saws in them. This is no exception. This wood saw gets the job done. And the back of it, as I expected, is an excellent ferro rod striker. But what I really like about this, and it really surprised me, is the metal file. It actually absolutely works. It files metal, and the side of it being a saw is man, that is like a super plus. Look, you know, like I said, you know, this is not going to be, it's not going to be your main tool, but if you just need to do a little cutting on some metal, a little you know, this lightweight cutting on metal or lightweight work on metal, just to try to fix something in the field or something like that, this could be a really handy little thing to have. And just to be fair, it's also the most expensive multi-tool I've ever tested at $175, and that is what it costs on Victorinox website. That's what it costs on Amazon. That's what it costs everywhere I could find it. So I haven't found this thing for any less than $175. I'm not saying you can't find it for less than that, but I didn't. So it's pretty expensive for a multi-tool, but it's also extremely capable. It works very well. I like it a lot. I like the compact size of it. It's a lot smaller than some of the other multi-tools for the same capabilities. But that's the Victorinox Spirit XBS multi-tool. Thanks to the folks at Victorinox for sending me this one so I can show it to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. And I know I've had a lot of people tell me that they've not been seeing my videos in their YouTube feed. I don't know what's going on with that, but if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos, I invite you to go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. Get signed up for my weekly email newsletter. Every week, I'll send you an email with any news, offers, or deals I think you might be interested in, and there'll be a link to an older video in there, and there'll also be a link to the current videos. So I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You are watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared, and I'll see you next time.